It was once asserted by a motivational speaker, Simon Sinek. He once said, if your action inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you're a leader. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Mohamend Jalloh. I am a basketball coach, an entrepreneur, and a youth ambassador at Y.Y.C.I International. Thank you very much for having me at this conference. I am here to speak today on the topic leadership. I'm going to focus my comments on leadership. So I'll start by recognizing the presence of the chairperson, all protocols observed. Thank you very much and welcome again. Effective leadership starts with a strong foundation, but many leaders are unsure as to what the fundamental competencies of great leaders are. While there are numerous skills that leaders need to have and develop to maximize their success, our experience shows that the communication, visionary and strategic thinking, empowerment, adaptability and self-awareness are the core fundamentals of leadership. Now, let us start with the core fundamentals first. For a leader to first of all be a good leader, the first thing that has to be done is develop a good foundation. Develop that leadership foundation, because we believe sometimes leaders are born, but yet they are created, they are built through the upbringing, through the mentorship that they get from elderly people or people who are more experienced than them. So there has to be a very good foundation that has to be built. But based on the fundamentals or the foundations that we talk about, there comes communicating effectively. I think one of the main components of a great leader is effective communication. You have to be able to communicate. For example, as a basketball coach, I communicate on a daily basis at practice with my players. For example, I tell them, if you want to shoot the basketball properly, set a screen there, run to the defensive line, do this and that, and by the end of it, we will have great results. So for a leader to have good results from his or her work, I believe communicating effectively is a good strategy to have. The second one is be a visionary and a strategic thinking person. So for all the world great leaders we've seen, for example, let's say the likes of the King of Dubai, in the United States, in England, and most other African countries like Rwanda and so on, you see leaders have vision. Paul Kagame had a vision for Rwanda. It's basically one of the cleanest, if not the cleanest city in Africa and in the world. So there has to be a vision. Where do you see your country in the next 10, 15 years? It doesn't have to be short term. It can be long term. In Dubai, the King of Dubai had a vision to see Dubai become a multicultural place, a hub for business and innovation. And he did that by building an island in the middle of the city. So these are things that visionary leaders has to have. So vision and strategic thinking is a main component. And then we move to empowerment. So as a leader, everything should not just be centered around you. There has to be empowerment. You have to empower the people that you lead. I don't want to refer to them as subjects, but whoever is working with you has to be empowered. When I'm not coaching, when I'm not present at coaching basketball, I have the assistant coach. If the assistant coach is not around, there's the basketball captain. So these are things you do. Give them the materials, give them the knowledge that they need in order for them to step in whenever you're not around. So as a leader, you have to learn to empower other people. The fourth one is adaptability. As a leader, as a great leader, this is what makes the difference between leaders and great leaders. You have to be able to adapt to what's happening around you. Society changes every day. New people come. Technology improves. So you have to be able to adapt as a leader to formulate new policies and bring in new techniques to tackle what is happening presently. All right? So you have to be able to adjust. For example, leaders, we see our leaders nowadays, all of them have social media handles, Instagram, they post things that they do and put themselves out there and be ready to ask questions or be asked questions. So this is one form of adaptability as a leader. You have to be able to adapt to what is happening, the new trend, the technology, and what's going on. The last thing is self-awareness. As a leader, you have to be able to have that awareness as a person. You have to be authentic to yourself, because what you don't have, you can't give. So in other words, as a leader, you have to be aware of what is going on around you. You have to be aware of your strengths and weaknesses, which is very important. Where you have strengths, you embark on those strengths, you work on them. And where you have weaknesses, you call other people who have strengths in those areas, so you can, you're able to put things together as a people, especially in running a nation, which is very important. Where you have strengths, you embark on those strengths, you work on them. And where you have weaknesses, you call other people who have strengths in those areas, so you can, you're able to put things together as a people, especially in running a nation, which is why we have ministers, we have ministries, we have corporations and private entities. So as a leader, you have to have that self-awareness, know where you're strong and where you're weak, so you can work on them. So to conclusively end it, I want to say grasping the fundamentals of leadership is critical as well to success. It ensures organizations rest on a solid foundation that can propel them to achieve their wider business objectives. So to wrap it all up, I want to say, based on these 5 things, this is what leadership is about. A great leader has to have these things in order for him or her to be able to run a small group, a nation, or an organization. All right, just like the wonderful Dr. Professor Elizabeth Lucas. She is an amazing leader. She empowers other people, which is an attribute of a great leader. She brings people together. She empowers them. She motivates them. She is self-aware of who she is. She's an example, and she communicates to us all the way from the top to the bottom. This is what leadership is about. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to take much of your time. I hope we enjoyed the discussion on the topic leadership, and I pray that everyone work on themselves and prepare leaders for tomorrow. Thank you very much again. My name is Mohammed. Thank you for having me. Yes, you can. International.